The following show do not reflect those of WSMN, its owners, and/or associates.
Lisa and Robyn are two fun friends diving deep into conversations where nothing is taboo. They believe in eating dessert before dinner and wearing the bikini. They're allergic to labels, authority, and cheap shoes. Currently, they're launching themselves through life being the good time, bold enough to take risks and inquisitively asking, what's next? They hail from New Hampshire, but they could be anywhere dressed in cute clothes. If they had to share a tombstone, it would read, "Curiosity killed these cats." Your hosts, Lisa and Robyn on the mic.
Welcome to Lisa and Robyn on the mic. You are listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can always watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live, as well as YouTube, and we're always up on Spotify. Welcome to another Thursday. Hi, Robyn.
Happy Thursday.
How are you?
I'm great. And the sun is out. It's getting warmer. The birds are chirping. And I'm like, oh, you can start to feel the sun on your skin. I'm like, oh, I'm ready. I'm so ready for spring.
So this is Massachusetts school vacation week. And I spent Tuesday with my nephews at Legoland.
Oh, my gosh. How was it?
So fantastic.
I can't hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. So I took them to Legoland, which we love our Legos in that house. You know, their presents. They're always an opportunity to do something with Legos. We're very much a Lego family, and I was like, that should be really fun. I'll have a good time. You know, I can put my 12-year-old hat on or my 8-year-old hat on, and we go, and I'm like, isn't this amazing?
So is it really interactive? Like, I saw the little video that you gave me, but it's so very tactile. They can get their hands on.
They play with everything.
That's cool.
So to go to an exhibit and be able to touch and play with everything is just amazing, right? And then I'm like, look how amazing this is. And as I'm saying it, there's a kid with his dirty socks walking through the pile. There's like at the end of a bottom of a Lego tree, there's just all Legos, and you go in there to build stuff. You know, you pull, cool. There's Legos everywhere, right?
Wow.
And his feet are just pushing all those around, his dirty socks. He sits in the middle of the tree putting his dirty, and I'm like, and this is the part of me that will never touch anything else for the rest of the day. Like my germaphobe scale, I'm a germaphobe of epic proportions.
Really? See, I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't guess that.
I keep it under wraps.
Do a good job.
Because I would never go to a hotel and sleep in a weird bed.
That's true.
That has been
my mom always would bring slippers to like for hotels and stuff like that. I usually will keep my socks on, or I always pack flip-flops. Mm-hmm. So she did pass that along.
Yeah, so like I have that. I don't want to shower in other people's showers. I don't want to touch things that other people are touching. I have to get myself mentally over that hurdle, especially if I think about it. Like I was so excited for Legoland until I saw that kid's socks on all of his dirty feet with those dirty socks on top of all of the items in that bin. Oof. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to want to touch anything else for the rest of the day. And, you know, the part of me that can handle really approaching a fear I could like literally just take them and walk out. And I was like, nope, you gotta overcome this. I mean, there's germs everywhere. There was a germ on the handle getting into the door. I really have to like talk myself
into it. So the dirty
into
socks, that gets me. Yes, I don't like it. I actually sent Chris an article because
it's bad enough with children's hands with they're picking their nose and picking their butts because they don't wipe well.
Yes.
And they're always digging in their crotches and in their butts. Like, you know, there's toilet paper for that.
In their face, their mouth,
you should do that inside the bathroom. Yeah. Inside the bathroom.
I can't stand the runny noses. I can't stand the booger nose. Yeah. Like, man, you're somebody's got to be on top of that.
So I'm already like with children. I'm already like, you know, their sticky little hands are touching you, and I'm like, wash that later.
Little germ magnets. Yes. Just walk away, just feeling the grime stuck to you.
But even for a germaphobe, Legoland was amazing.
That's cool.
I would go back tomorrow. It was so much fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was
Where
a really,
is
really good
it
time.
exactly?
It's in the Assembly Row, which I grew up going to the Assembly Square Mall. I did not recognize where I was.
Really?
At all.
A lot of changes, huh?
Oh.
Wow. I don't know if I've ever been. I'm such a sheltered person. You know, I was really crossing the street, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. because there's like 6 homeless people. There's like one guy coming, towards me in the opposite direction with his suitcase, and I was like, what does he have in there? Like
All of his things.
It's pretty heavy. I mean, thank God he's got a suitcase with wheels. I mean, it's better than a shopping cart,
Right.
I suppose. I mean,
Yeah.
but they're all just standing there, and I'm like, hi, good morning, and I'm smiling, and because they're all looking at me, and I think most people don't speak to them,
Right.
because they just were like kind of shocked that I actually spoke to them. But I'm like, what else am I supposed to do?
Right.
Like,
Not acknowledge you as a human.
right. I just couldn't do that. I didn't feel like that was the right thing.
Yeah, no, just because they're homeless doesn't mean they're not humans. They are. They're just like, and I know what really pissed me off is when they change the language to be unhoused. Like you're fixing any kind of homelessness problem by just pretending the word doesn't exist because it's too uncomfortable for everyone for homelessness. So just call them unhoused.
I'd never heard of that.
Oh, it went through a little thing. It went through like a little workshop where they changed the language.
So you couldn't say, now you can't say homeless person. You can't say midget. Now you have to say little people.
Yeah, all of the things. So you can't say they're homeless. You have to say they're unhoused. And I'm calling them homeless because that's what they are. They don't have a home.
Yes.
They're homeless. Just like
you just put the description at the beginning of the word instead. So
Right.
un or less still means the same thing.
Un gives me like this action feeling, like unpack. Like there's something to do.
Yes.
And so it makes it sound like you're unhousing these people on purpose.
Right.
Or you're not, I don't know. I don't like when I don't like when you're providing a solution that's not a solution, but just a change of verbiage.
Yes.
It
yes.
pisses me off.
Yeah.
I like, we're word people, so that's very specific to me.
Well, you're putting the adjective at the beginning, not the end. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
I know. Also, a pet peeve, and we're talking about germs. So I always open the door at the bottom because nobody ever grabs it. And like most of the time on the door handles, even when it's metal, you can see where all like the finishes come. Like everybody opens the door. So I always usually like one finger and on the, like if it's a hook like this, I always open the door at least on the bottom or the very top. And I noticed Chris does that too. And I was like, where'd you get that from? He's like, well, I'm not touching that door.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I'll just have napkins in my hand as I'm touching the door.
Yes.
But in I could almost be one of those agoraphobic people like if I didn't love outside and love life and concerts and various things, I could almost just be like,
well, I mean,
stay in the house.
Being exposed to those does supposed to help build your immune system.
Yes.
That's why the whole
on Tuesday, my immune system is good for the next year.
You're rock solid.
I'm rock solid with all of the germs that I've touched.
So I changed subject. One of my biggest pet peeves is cheap toilet paper. I literally think cheap toilet paper should be
illegal.
And so are cheap napkins.
Yes.
Like you go to a restaurant and you're eating a greasy New York style pizza and it doesn't even absorb. It just like...
And you have 4,000 of them on the table because
yes.
you get like one finger per napkin.
Yes.
And it's just oil covered and it's in a pile.
But toilet paper, come on. It's not absorbent, and I feel like it just kind of disintegrates.
And you have to use 7,000. You have to like pull it on the roll so that you're like almost making a paper mache thing. Like you've got with the roll because you're trying to make a bouncy piece enough so that it doesn't touch your hand.
Yes. And it doesn't disintegrate.
It should be illegal.
Fall apart. Like it should be illegal.
If I was president, there'd be no single.
Well, so we just got
all the things I would solve. I would solve toilet paper.
So we just got a bidet.
Excellent. I've been dying.
Oh my gosh.
How is it?
Well, I was telling Chris, I think I need to read the manual because it doesn't have a quick in and out setting, I don't think. Like it doesn't do like a quick rinse and dry. It's like I feel like, okay, I don't need a bath. So now I just need you to hit it on dry. So now I feel like I'm always pushing the buttons. And he's like, I think you can change the setting for the timer. But I literally feel like, wow, I'm spending just to go pee. I feel like I'm spending a lot of time on the toilet. And I'm like, it goes down like almost, the back of my thighs. And I'm like, I don't need a bath. It's like... He's like, are you just a little person?
Right.
He's like, you need to adjust. I think you can adjust the nozzle like in and out so it doesn't spray as far. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I'm trying to use the bidet. And I'm like, I don't think I like this thing. He's like, but I think we could solve Greece's problem.
Definitely.
If everybody got a bidet.
Well, when we went to Montreal, we went to this hotel. This was right before COVID. And it was Stephen Lamont.
Stephen Lamont.
Or... yeah, Lamont Stephen. One of those, something with Stephen in it. And PH, Stephen. And because it's French. And we went there and they had beautiful bidets. And then both the bidet and the toilet had heated seats.
Oh, yes. I love the heated seats.
And I'm like, I may be ruined forever from this amazing bathing. Like, I was in there for 15 minutes every time I went in. This is like an amazing, I was like nice and warm.
I know. You don't think that you're going to appreciate like a heated seat? I'm telling you what, you're like, oh man, that's nice. It actually even has a light on it. I'm like, I don't need the light on it.
This one had a light. So I went downstairs and I was like, hey, what's you, because they were new construction. I was like, what's up with the bathroom? They were like, oh, 10 grand a piece between those two toilets. The toilet and the bidet, they said it's about 10 grand. And I'm like, per room. And they're like, per room.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, no wonder why you're charging what you're charging per night.
Yeah.
It worth every penny.
Well, so the first night we had it up and running, and Chris gets into bed, and I'm facing away from the bathroom, like the door. So we have one of those barn doors that closes the bathroom off. It closes the bathroom off, and so I'm facing away from the bathroom, and he's like, I did something. He's like, I don't know, sure if that's going to work or not. And I'm like, I turn over, and I'm like, so I see the lights, because we have a motion sensor light in the bathroom, and it takes a minute for it to turn off. So it had been longer. It had been longer than the time that it should shut off. So I'm like, I turn over and I'm like, no, that's not going to work. And he's like, I knew it. So he gets back out of bed. He's like, I'm like, did you? He's like, I was just trying out the toilet light. It would be nice to be guided in the night.
So that I don't make any mistakes. And
I'm like, that's why we have a motion sensor light. You can see that. You can find the toilet. You've done it for 5 years now. I trust you. I have complete faith you'll find the toilet without that light on.
Well, I am so excited to announce that we have a guest that has been on our radio show before, Juan Rosario. Welcome to the Lisa and Robyn on the Mic Show.
Hello, hello, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming and joining us. We were just talking about bidets.
I was going to say, you guys said the magic words. I heard toilet paper, bidets, and homeless. I was like, yep.
This is the show I'm supposed to be showing up for. Are you unhoused at the moment? Are you on tour?
At some point on life I was.
Yeah.
I'm actually dressed like I should be auditioning for the Hobo Railroad.
I think you look great.
I think
Thank
you
you.
look
I'm
great.
Very
very
chill,
comfy.
very relaxed. Absolutely.
So-
Well, I have on kid jeans today, so.
You're
Like kid-sized jeans?
Yeah,
Oh,
kid-sized
okay. I thought
jeans.
you
Look.
like stole them from a kid.
Well, I would have. Look,
Ah.
there's my little elastic waistbands.
now we're going to put your gloves inside a loop on a string through
Right?
your jacket
Oh my God, I
into
hated
the other
those things.
arm.
Is that a thing? What's that?
That is the thing. So your kids can't lose their gloves. You
Huh.
tie them and then put them in the arms of the jacket so that they're always just dangling out of the bottom of the jacket.
I feel like I
because-
learn something new every time I come here. I love
Yeah.
it.
I don't know. I don't
Because
think
your parent was like, I'm buying you one set of gloves. If you lose them, you'll have no gloves for the winter. I don't want to hear it from your teacher. This is what we're doing. That's how we used to do it. Now you just buy 7,000 gloves for your kids.
Yes. I couldn't do that. I don't like, it takes too much time to like try to get it and stuff it in those little tiny armholes down on this side and get it all evened out. And I'm like, nope, not going to do that. It's like threading, when your hoodie, the string of your hoodie gets undone or your sweatpants and now you're trying to like keep it from disappearing. I'm like, no, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I've thrown away more sweatshirts because I've lost the string in the wash. It's like,
Yeah,
well,
but do you really use the string?
it doesn't matter. I don't want the string. I don't want that whole conky wampus.
But why don't you just take it out? Like,
Because I want to be able to cinch.
But do you cinch it down?
I do.
Like, oh.
Because I don't like when
See,
I
I'm
don't
not
like
really
the
a cincher.
feeling of. I like the hood to hang closer to my head. I don't like the feeling of the. Because then I feel like it's
Okay.
like
I
it's
get it
touching
if it
too
were
much
cold.
on my
Do you
neck.
cinch your hoodie?
I don't even lace my sneakers. I just keep everything loose. But you make a really good point. It does feel like there's like something just
Tension.
like yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I don't want to feel like someone could pull my.
See, I don't like
neck
to
back.
feel the tension, and I don't like it feeling tight on my throat. I don't like the sweatshirts where they cross over and there's not enough room, and I feel like it's always hitting my throat. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I
so-
could be like a throwback from like morning sickness. Something.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't like things touching my
or
throat.
people strangling us when we were young in the city. Could be
Yes.
one or the
I was
other.
just say it has to be trauma.
So
I'm sure there's a drama in there.
tell me what when you came on before, you were going on a 5-month tour, which was going to end you in Florida.
Yes. Started on the road. I started, where was it? Started in Boston, and then I kind of worked my way down to New York, Pennsylvania. Just did a whole bunch of random towns along the way. And then when I got to Florida, I was like, it's actually pretty nice here. And then I ended up moving to Florida.
Hey,
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What part?
So where in Florida?
I'm in Central Florida, so I'm like an hour from Tampa and like 30 minutes from Orlando. So it's not bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great location to
Are
be.
you a Disney person?
No.
Okay.
Not in the slightest.
Universal, nothing? No?
Universal's sick. Busch Gardens,
Yeah.
Legoland. I've been to those places. Those are really fun. But I go to Disney Springs. Disney Springs is where the adults should be.
Really?
Like, yes.
I didn't even know there was a Disney Springs. What is it?
It's like a downtown area of just like a whole bunch of restaurants and like bars and Lego store, like just random things like, souvenir boutiques, a whole bunch of random stuff. So, when you're, half blackout walking through all this Disney theme, you're like, I love this. This is the greatest thing ever. But when I was at Disney, I was like, could be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're old enough, we see behind the magic
Yeah.
a little bit too. If
Yeah.
you can be in that space where it's magical. So how did you plan your tour? Did you show up and see if they had space for you, or did you know where you were going along the comedy tour?
Yeah, it was pre-booked, like 75% of it, and then like the other 15, 25, I can't do math right now, came from like, hey, you did really good on this show. I got this buddy over here that he's putting on this show. Since you're going to be down there, how about you do that show? So then it just kind of like added more of like, let's say like I was in Atlanta and it was supposed to be like one day, ended up being 3 days because of like that connection, So that was
Nice.
pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So where in Florida have you done any in Tampa?
Yes, I remember last time you guys mentioned Side Splitters.
Yes.
Yeah, so I go to Side Splitters often. I go to Laugh Out Lounge in Winter Haven, Funny Bone, Improv, all the comedy clubs I've been to. I've been staying mainly in like Central Florida. I haven't made it out to like Miami or Fort Myers, Hollywood, or up in Jacksonville. I have yet to go there, but I've been to Fort Walton. But that was kind of the middle of nowhere. But that was a really fun show.
Nice. I think we were in Fort Walton. Is that near Destin?
It's on. I know this. It's on the Gulf of America. 'Cause
Yes.
That same weekend,
Yes.
he changed it. I was like, we were looking at the GPS and we were like, Gulf of America. We were like, oh, that was a real thing.
I know.
He
So
was serious.
we go to this. We went to the state park down there, and it says, you can ride your bikes. You can ride your bikes down to the beach, and you walk over the dunes on this big boardwalk thing. And right there at the beginning, right there where they have restrooms and showers and stuff and bike racks, and it says, "Welcome to the Gulf of America." And I was like, wow, when did that change?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
I think. And I'm like, damn, I didn't know. Darn, I didn't know that was real.
and signage and everything. It was like,
Yeah,
boom,
it's
boom,
like
boom,
they
boom,
were
boom.
prepared. Like they
Yeah.
were like, all right, it's gonna get passed. So we're gonna have all these signs hanging around. They had like a whole agenda. Like it's
Yeah.
insane how
I mean,
fast
I
it got
guess
put
it
up.
is kind of the Gulf. I mean, Mexico is down there, but it kind of hugs that whole coastline, like Texas all the way down to Florida. It kind of hugs it, so it does make sense, but it just sounds weird.
Yeah, it does. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. If you want to fight that battle, you have at it.
Yeah. Bigger issues at hand.
Right. Right. And changing the unhomeless to homeless.
Yeah, I say
And
person that
house,
is
yeah.
I say person that is homeless. People first language,
Yeah.
like person
Yeah.
that's black, person that's in a wheelchair, like we're all people first,
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of thing. I heard midgets earlier, and I was
Yeah.
like, I call them adults that are compact.
Yep.
Yeah.
That kind of
Yes.
stuff.
Yes. I was just saying, like, if I'm one, because Chris always calls me a midget, and I don't. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
But I don't know. I think that if I were being, oh, you're a little person. See, to me, I feel like that sounds.
Very condescending.
It
Yes.
does.
hmm
Yeah, I think so too.
Come here, little person. I would not. I just feel like I would be offended by
Yeah.
that.
And I sort of take the stance that if I try not to be overly offended at things, because I'm sure, I couldn't remember the word for shutter one day. And I sell real estate. It was just like not coming to my brain. So if I was going to if someone held me to
Right.
something
Right.
like with that kind of rigidity, is probably like, I probably don't want to hang out with you.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I
Yes.
probably don't want to spend much time with you.
Yes.
Block them on Facebook immediately.
Yes.
Yes.
So what did this comedy tour look like that was the same and different from your previous ones?
A lot more sleeping in my car. That's
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
A lot more people tapping on the glass saying like, "Hey, you can't sleep here," and I'm like, "This is a rest stop," and they're like, "Sorry."
Yeah.
Very weird
Yeah.
instances. But it was cool. I mean, I got to see a lot of friends that I have like along the coast. Got to meet new comedians. It was cool because you get to take your quote unquote act on the road. And I wouldn't even call it taking it on the road, even though I was on the road, but still. I feel like I could have done definitely more, but this is just like, perfection, what is it? Artist curse or whatever. But definitely it was really cool, just to say the least. It was really cool just to kind of go out on the road and just take like your act on the road. It's like, I got my 30 minutes and let me go see how in different places, how it reacts, and you do really well one night and you bomb the next night, or, you bomb a whole weekend, and it's just taking those things with a grain of salt of like, you know what? Let's put the shot of bleach down. You don't need to be this dramatic. It'll be fine tomorrow kind of thing.
Yes, yes. And did you find out that, certain places tolerate certain things, so you can massage it a little bit if you didn't get a good response? Like the night before, you're like, all right, this crowd. I remember watching, did you ever see the Wild West comedy tour with Vince Vaughn? He takes Sebastian Maniscalco.
No.
Oh, so it's a movie.
Okay.
Where Vince Vaughn takes 3 or 4 unknown comedians, is like, I'm going to take these guys on the road. We're going to do a comedy tour, and I'm going to have 3 or 4 comedians at the end of it.
Huh.
And they were all doing some work, but they weren't well known. And he gets a van, hypes up as he's driving the van into a town, and hypes up, hey, to sell tickets.
Wow.
And Sebastian Maniscalco, who his very first stand-up was about the flip-flops, men's feet and flip-flops.
Yeah.
It bombed in California.
Yep.
They booed him.
Yep.
Like almost off the stage. And Vince said to him when he's coming off the stage, shake it off, but you're not doing the flip-flops tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of like, yeah, that would never play in California. Probably doesn't play in Florida, where your shoes are predominantly flip-flops. But in New England, we would think that's hilarious. New York, you're probably thinking that's hilarious. Toronto, like those places. So was there anything that you're like, all right, I just need to massage this much because I'm in a location?
I would definitely say the racial stuff, for sure. Like,
Okay.
if I want to talk about race or anything like that, people are, it's a very sensitive subject. Huh?
Don't do it in Atlanta.
No, Atlanta it's ironic because like in the more urban, black rooms, I can talk about race because there's, because these are people that share the same experience that I experienced. But when you're talking to, quote unquote white people, for a room full of white people, it's more so like, oh, he's preaching or he's trying to make us feel bad or whatever. And it's like, I get that sentiment.
But do you think we're not allowed to laugh at it anymore?
Sometimes some people will look over to see like the one black person in the room to see if they're laughing, and then if they're laughing, then they'll be like, oh, okay, then it's fine to laugh,
Yeah, like, do I have permission to laugh about something?
Which is very odd.
So I think that this is just because the wokeism ruined comedians for a while. That COVID really, there was like this window that it's like, we're going to lose it. We're going to lose the comedy. We're going to lose laughing at ourselves. Like, it's happening. And I think that I noticed it because we went to Bill Burr did a Patrice O'Neill special probably almost 4 Aprils ago.
Oh, like the foundation thing?
Yes. Where he brings, like, comics come home. Mm-hmm. He brings all these comedians to New York, where we flew. Oh, no, we took the train into New York. We did this as my birthday present.
Nice.
With my in-laws. And we didn't even know who was going to come on. Well, Andrew Dice Clay comes on.
Oh.
Right? But Andrew Dice Clay, from my generation, for the people who know Bill Burr from when Bill Burr was talking about driving a forklift.
Right.
That Bill Burr comedian, right? Just my Bill Burr, right? Because I've listened to him for so long. Andrew Dice Clay is who we grew up with. We grew up with him offending women and us laughing at it.
Yeah.
Right? And so he comes out, and you could literally feel the ass pucker of 1,100 people in a room. And we were like, oh my God, like you're seeing Andrew Dice Clay.
Right, this is a legend, a living legend.
This is a living legend at a Patrice O'Neill, another living legend, with Bill Burr hosting, like, don't clam up. And he starts doing this, BITCH, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking to her. I'm telling her this, right? He's talking about Alexa. So the end of the joke is Alexa.
Yeah.
But and then people like finally like burst out laughing, but they were holding it so long. And then we were like, okay, it started to get a little bit better after that. But there was this one comedian, and he talks about how he doesn't have any, he doesn't have a dad. Right? And how he goes to this like basketball game, and this guy has like 3 dads. He's got a gay dad who marries another gay dad, and they get divorced, and then they marry another gay dad. He's like, you have like a basketball team of dads, and I have 0 dads. And so he's making the joke.
That sounds familiar, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
That he's, but and people were having a hard time, and he was like slapping his hands like, keep up, guys, these are gay jokes, these are black jokes, these are this joke, these are single kid jokes.
It's okay
like,
to life.
We're laughing at all of these jokes, and then everyone kind of like loosened up. But to your point about the race thing, I think we've been conditioned that we have to be really careful not to offend everybody, and I think you're laughing at yourself, you're not supposed to be offended at all in the comedy thing.
That's the idea of comedy. Is I go up on stage, the whole idea for me, comedy is obviously to be funny for the audience, it's for them, and of course it's for you, but it's also like, you know, I know why I'm up here. I didn't grab they didn't just draw my name out of a bucket and I just showed up here and I'm just saying whatever comes to mind. Essentially I have my act or whatever, so what I'm saying has a point to it. So if you guys are not willing to laugh or looking to, you know, butt pucker and all that kind of stuff, then you're kind of not with me on this, and we're not really sharing the same experience. So I feel like as a comic, you know, especially when you do it in 5 minutes, it's hard, but when you have like 10, 15, 30 minutes, it's much easier to kind of guide them and, you know, hold their hand through certain things for sure. Because I've gotten, you know, actually in New Hampshire, I've gotten told before while I was doing certain race jokes where they were like, I had a lady, I was bombing, it was horrible. I had a lady, she was like, oh my gosh, get over it already. And I was like, fair. You know, you're not wrong. And then I pivoted, and then I just did sports and other stuff, and then murdered, you know. So it's like, you know, you got to like learn, you know, kind of thing. But I do think that it did take COVID and the pandemic kind of took away, the wokeism kind of took away from comedy. But I think we're back to like.
I do think we're back too.
Yeah. I mean, you got Shane Gillis, you know, on SNL using the R word, and, you know, people are using any type of word you want to, you know, think of. And it's like we're kind of getting funny again, which is cool.
So I saw him for the first time there. At the Patrice O'Neill thing and I was like, please let him make it. Yeah. Because if he makes it, comedy will make it as a whole, because he is so great.
Yes.
He's such a great comedian. His timing, the way he delivers stuff, you know.
Very nonchalant, like kind of a conversation, like a guy at a bar talking to you, which is so cool.
And you're like, you're funny, but you're like it's a little wrong, but I like that it's wrong. You know,
I think it's like that middle child, like you guys were saying, like you grew up with Andrew Dice Clay and you know, that kind of stuff. And I, like my generation, I grew up with Eddie Murphy and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of have that like you know, raunchy rawness to it.
Yes.
But then, you know, now like let's say like my sister's 19, so or 20 now, but like they grew up with like, hello, my name is John, and my parents are divorced. And then, you know, and then that's as opposed to like, look at this ice cream truck down the road, you know, you know, whatever it might be.
So do you remember the first time you saw Eddie Murphy in the red? He had the red pantsuit, the red leather pantsuit where Aunt Bunny falls down the stairs.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
So I remember watching that in my living room, like sitting on the floor because I'm not allowed to sit on the couches. And
you a dog?
No, my mother just liked clean. You know, like I wasn't even technically probably supposed to be in that room. You know what I mean? Because she vacuumed and the lines were already in the living room, so you're not supposed to walk on them.
No footprints on the vacuum lines.
And I remember not being able to hear because I was laughing so much that I could not hear what was happening. And he really was just like such a master of the storytelling joke. And I loved Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up on those types of comedians. Then you add in the Andrew Dice Clay. And that's probably why you can say whatever you want about whatever. And I'm on board with you because I know you're going to make me laugh. And hopefully you make me laugh at myself.
Right. And that's the funny part. That's like the fun part about being a comic is that like right now I'm working on a bit, and I don't even know if I can tell it right now, but I'm working on a bit that's like super sensitive, super touchy, but it's really funny if you really think about it. But like the premise of it is I got hit on by a girl with Down syndrome. And it kind of shocked me because I was like, oh, I didn't know that y'all could do that.
Right,
you know?
right.
And then, like, I get into this whole thing about, like, her hitting on me and all that kind of stuff. And, like, I always lose an audience after a certain point. And it's trying to figure out, like, you know, how do you make this, like, because this is a real story.
Right.
And it's
and
like,
it's funny.
And it's funny. So it's like, how do you let people, you know, so you kind of have to, like, kind of dig on yourself, I've been learning. To kind of, like, not bring yourself down to any level, but just, like, let them know that you're not just making fun of the situation, you're making fun of anybody who is in that situation.
Yes.
So that's
You're
what
not
I've been
making fun
working
of the person who hit on you. You're making fun of you being hit on.
Right, because I'm so numbskulled or so closed-minded that I didn't think that this was a thing. You
Right.
know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's the point is you're making fun of your reaction to it.
Correct, yes.
And people don't see, and I think that that's what comedy is about. Is being able to part of what comedy is about is being able to not take yourself so seriously
And the
not to just-
ridiculousness of life.
Yes,
Like, can we laugh at that? Because otherwise we cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we're not going to laugh about this, we're
you know,
certainly
I
going to
mean,
cry about this.
we are all dysfunctional. We
Yes.
are all dysfunctional.
Yes.
Just that we align with people that have the same amount of level of dysfunction that we have, but we're all messed up. And, we all think about things differently, see things differently, and it just comedy is a great reminder to be like, don't take life so serious, and you have to have the ability to laugh at yourself.
And like how many times I've, something's happened and I've pulled out a comedian line in the middle of an argument to try to diffuse an argument.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Yeah.
no, we all have this argument.
Yep.
Right? And so you need the Tom Papa joke or the Bill Burr joke. Like I love I joke that Bill Burr has made me a better woman and a better wife because, he has that whole thing
Yeah.
in his comedy where he talks about, his wife is under museum glass. Like she's so perfect because they're always working on him. Right. And he's like the dilapidated building with the scaffolding around it. Tear it down. What is this, an insurance
Just
job?
had the scaffolding around it for the last 20 years,
Right. And then I think of like Tom Papa when he's like, you wanted to go out, this is out. Like, I don't know what you were looking for out here, but like that, are you being turned on by the wash your hands lady? Because he's like, I've been married. Now I have my wife walking around going, wash your hands. Did you wash your hands? Now I'm going to be turned on by the wash your hand lady.
Yes.
Like now this is going to work for me. So I can't tell you how many times I've used that to make myself laugh.
Yes.
And then also try to like diffuse whatever's happening here that's going off the rails. It's like, let's just laugh at this and move on.
Move on, yeah.
All right, so I have a question for you.
Oh, yes.
So do you watch Kill Tony?
Yes.
So what's your opinion of Kill Tony?
I like the show. I think people that watch it every week are a little insane. 'Cause
Yes.
it's the same setup, same show. I did have a couple friends that have gone on the show and did really well.
Really?
One friend, Yachao Yang, she got a golden ticket. She's the most recent.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
She's actually a Tampa comic, or St. Pete, Clearwater. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of different ones. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Do you think you'd ever do it?
I would do it because it's like the Apollo,
Yeah.
Apollo Theater, because that's what I grew up watching, that and Def Jam comedy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeff. Oh,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah, it was all of that. So it's like, it's kind of a quote unquote, I guess, ritual or path or process that like you have to go through as a comic to like be like, like I didn't bomb at the Apollo, which is what Kill Tony is. I didn't bomb, I got cheered, or I got a golden ticket. It's kind of just to prove your chops essentially in
Yeah.
that, which is pretty cool. But I do like the show, but I can't watch it every week. I did have a phase of 3-4 months of watching it, and I was like, it's kind of boring.
It gets old so quickly. But so like if you have like, so my son he watches it every once in a while, and he'll save like episodes that we all watch together. And somebody was on and I had mentioned it a while back, and I do have it pulled up, like one of them that was so funny, but one of Ari Maddie.
Yeah, Ari is so good.
Oh.
He's very, very good.
I love him, and he actually I think it was December 27th. He was down in Boston. It was the Kill Tony
And Friends or something. kind of
something
thing.
show, and
Yeah.
there was a bunch, but Ari Maddie, and so I was like, well, that would be an awesome present for my son, and like to go as a family.
Yeah.
It's almost like $400 tickets, and it was like in the nosebleed section, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't really want to drop $3,000 on that.
No,
Like,
that's fair. No, that is the another piece of Kill Tony is that because I think it's the biggest comedy podcast of all time. So it's like it's earned that prestige of like we can charge $400 or whatever for
Yeah.
a show, which is of course cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because you were able to see Michael Jackson for $12 30-40 years ago.
right?
But like $400 for no offense to any comic, but $400 for a comic, don't what.
Well, the other thing I think too is you don't know what you're going to get in that show. You might get comics that are really not doing well.
Yeah.
And so that's the part that makes me unbelievably uncomfortable. I don't like Kill Tony at all. actually.
Oh, watching people like bomb and stuff.
Watching people bomb, even though they're getting educated through how to do something differently, I'm like, this is not a public forum thing. First of all, to have the balls to go up on stage in front of a group of people, have them all look at you, and you perform
For
trying to
1
make
minute.
people laugh is the hardest thing probably I think you have to do.
Yep.
Now you add, because you don't know who they are, you don't know what context they are, they don't know what context you are. Like, it's such a organic, weird scenario. And I've always said this too. If I'm coming to a comedy show, you just say the smallest thing, I'm laughing with you. I'm coming, I'm in the mood to laugh, I want to be here, I want to have a good time, I'm prepared to laugh.
My date said that last night.
Yeah. Oh. I'm here to have a good time.
She didn't say I'm the I'm coming part, but she said everything else.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and because of that, I'm wanting to give you the opportunity to make me laugh. I'm not going to give you laughs that you don't deserve. But if you're even remotely in the area,
you deserve it. You earned it.
Because I'm in that room.
Right.
I might not do it at the train station, right? If you're just, and you're not funny.
Yeah.
So, but the part about Kill Tony that I find like cringy is some of them act like when they get up there that they've never been on stage before.
Some people have never been. It might have been their first time,
Right.
which is crazy to me. And I applaud them because I'm just like, you
Yes.
signed up for one of the biggest comedy shows of all time, and that's going to be the first time you do comedy. I think that's bold of you, but like there are some people that they go up there, and I think people also, and I'm sure we'll get into this later on or right now, but people think that comedy's easy because they
Yes.
think that
They think they're
I'm
funny in real life.
and you don't realize, no matter how long, no matter what my girlfriend says, 5 minutes is a long time,
Yeah.
like when you're on stage, that's a
Yeah.
long time. So, and there's no music, there's no percussion, no sync. It's just a mic and you, and
Yeah.
then people waiting for you to, like, people went there because they're like, oh, someone's going to make me laugh. So you have that expectation.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's, yeah.
But I feel like in some ways, yes, I agree with you if you look at it from that perspective. But also, if you put your name in the hat to get on Kill Tony, you know what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
And people can bomb in the on the 60 seconds, but they kill it in the interview.
Yes.
Because they actually talk and they joke back and forth. So I feel like Kill Tony and his panel of comedians that he has on, they're trying to pull out
the funny.
you to relax, just to relax and get you talking to being like, hey, here's where you have content. Like, I think, yes, some of it is crude and some of it's hard to watch, but other times, what a great opportunity to put yourself in the arena to have professional, like experts in that arena to give you advice or feedback or help you loosen up and have that dialogue. Because I feel like a lot of the 60 seconds is like,
Right.
But when you listen to their interviews, it's like, God,
Like this person's actually funny.
love it. Yes.
Yeah, they just need to work on their craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to me, that's kind of like when my mother told me, like, don't let boys practice on you, let them get good and then come back around. I almost feel like I feel that way about comedy. You know what? You work this out.
That's kind of how I feel. Yeah. About comedy.
and then come back when you're ready to make me laugh. And I'm here for you and I'm part of that. But I also don't want too much practice on me.
So you think you would do it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What joke I would do? I have potentially 3 in mind, but yeah, I would 100% do it. But the thing is too is it's on a Monday, and every Monday you have to sign up for it. So you get pulled out of a bucket. So it's out of, well, I think he says there's 200 plus comedians every week, and then maybe 10 to 15 get selected.
Yeah.
So that's another thing is like I have to go out to Austin, Texas, and hope that I get on one week or the other week. I have friends out there and all that kind of stuff, but in this economy, to take 2 weeks off from work, like
Right. That's
So-
very rough.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I do definitely if and when I get the opportunity, I would take it.
So what was your biggest takeaway from what was your biggest lesson that you felt like you learned on your road trip? Like, where was your biggest growth?
I will never have enough time in the sense of like, sure, I have my 30-minute act, let's say, like, and by 30-minute, I mean like my tight, or like I know front to back, the way that you should wipe, that kind of stuff. But I don't know, if I use up that 30 minutes, or if like people aren't laughing at certain jokes, that's it, kind of thing. So I got to move on to other stuff or whatever, read the room. So I know that you'll never have enough time as a comedian. Like, you need to always be writing and all that kind of stuff, that once you blow through your 30 minutes, dog,
Yes.
what then?
Yeah.
You're constantly creating content.
Yes.
Constantly creating.
I think Bill Burr was in the UK taping one of his specials, and someone said something, and he said, "No, just let the room be silent. I'll figure it out and move on."
Yep. Yeah.
And that was like, but he did it real time. And it was awesome to watch in real time him be like, okay, this isn't working. No, don't give me the fake thing. I can move on.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, that is someone who's been doing it for 20 to 30 years, right? And no offense to it. No, like, he was unflappable in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know this isn't working here. I'm
Yeah,
I know to
pivoting
move on.
and that kind of stuff. I think Jerry Seinfeld, he has the greatest way to put anything that you do in life, but specifically he related it to comedy, where he says, for people that are starting out to do comedies, you're just an infant. You can barely hold up your head. You're not even crawling. You can't even walk. You got to get fed. That's basically what it's like in comedy. And then when you're 2 or 3 years into comedy, or you're a toddler, you're just figuring out your words. You're starting to know certain words and certain cues and that kind of stuff, but you're still holding somebody's hand to cross the street. And then when you're 8 years old, you have a conscience. That's when you start to develop, okay, this is who I want to be. This is the kind of style I want to, kind of be. And that's where I'm at 7 to 8 years right now. So, and in 10 years, 15 years, so on and so forth. And, 20 years is like, okay, now you're basically an adult. 21, you're almost a fully formed adult. Now you're, okay, I got this. I can do this. And, and that's how I viewed it ever since I heard that, because I was like, oh, that's like, I was so hard on myself of like whether it's not being funny enough or not writing enough or whatever, I was just like, oh wait, I'm still green. I'm still early in this career, in this path. So don't be so hard on yourself. Just keep working day by day kind of thing, brick by brick.
I mean, shoot, you think about doctors, and it takes them 4 years before they can even get behind a patient. Sometimes it's 6 or 8 years before they can even get behind a patient.
Yeah.
You don't think about it, comedy as a career. It's actual work.
Yeah.
Because, you forget, because you're laughing and having a good time, and you think it's like, oh, and you think about like us, like, I think we can be funny and witty, and my husband doesn't think so, but I think I was like, man, I should write that down. but
so like,
but if you actually had to do that every single day, it would be hard. Or actually think about it as a career, it would be really difficult.
yeah.
I think it's one of the hardest industries to get into.
I have a buddy of mine, Marvin. He's a filmographer, kind of like records stuff and does stuff for me a lot of the times. And he like has a really good interview question where he says, what makes you want to do this insane thing? And I'm not saying that's insane because it's stupid or anything. It's just like, because he interviews a lot of wrestlers as well. So he'll be like, what makes you want to put on these tight underpants and boots and be shirtless in the ring and just wrestle for 3 or 4 people and get thrown through a table, or get a chair thrown at you, or wrestle a midget or an adult that's compact? What makes you want to do that? Because that's crazy. And then there's, the answer is always like passion and drive and all that kind of stuff. And it does sound crazy when you put in like in the common world that we live in today of like traditional 9-to-5s and 401ks and pensions. It's like, wait, you're telling me that you don't want quote unquote job security? You're just kind of just wing it,
Right.
for most of your life, and then until you hopefully get something or make something out of it. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah, but I also think that we also still live in a little bit of a false narrative where, certainly growing up, we always felt like we were told, you get a job, that's your career, you're going to be in it forever, and it's your retirement, it's your pension, that's a long term. None of that's guaranteed. And companies are not like that anymore. You don't have CEOs that are thinking like, hey, you don't go into, businesses and corporations don't hire thinking this person's going to be with me for the next 30 years.
No.
And so that's a thing of the past.
Yeah. Companies are doing major layoffs. Verizon laid off like 13,000 people. They're doing another set of layoffs this year. Walmart, a whole bunch of companies.
Yeah, don't get me started on Walmart.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that everyone is very concerned with is AI, but AI isn't funny.
No.
AI is not taking your job.
The best part is when you see actually I have a Nimesh Patel. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Really funny.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so he has a joke where he says he has a joke about, he's like, my uncle touched me when I was young, yada 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 yada, and I had AI write the joke, but I guess all that was missing was the human's touch.
Yeah.
So
That's
good.
perfect, but it's true. Well, I said to her, AI does not have the ability to have empathy, compassion, or sympathy.
No.
So whatever answer you're going to get, it's not going to be. It's going to be fact based somewhere, wherever they're pulling their
And
information
we'll say the
from.
word
It's not
fact loosely. We'll
humanity,
use that word
right.
loosely.
They're getting information
Yeah.
somewhere.
I
Because
think
what I want everyone to talk about, so I talk about it ad nauseum on this radio show, is everyone's acting like AI is God.
Oh, no.
It's the voice of God coming down telling you that everything's whatever it is.
No, that's Morgan Freeman.
Right. Right. He's got the God voice.
Yes.
And so what I think is interesting is it's like, well, it's trolling the internet for information. And the internet also has over 1 million people who think the earth is still flat in 2026. So AI is getting 1 million hits of the earth is flat as well.
Yep.
So it can't be that intelligent because there's a lot of stupid crap on the internet. A lot.
Exactly.
Unvetted, inaccurate information. So we can't just let it troll out there and come back like it's going to come back with porn.
Big fan.
Yep. Huge. Yeah. Like something about war
Yeah.
and some other stuff, and occasionally a correct answer about stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not buying the AI thing.
I'll do like Chat GPT stuff every now and then, and I'll ask it a question, like especially with my clothing company, like I'll be like, hey, like, LLC and, taxes and EI and all that kind of stuff. What can I do, or what are the options? And then they'll say, oh, like yesterday it was like your NAICS code is this, and I was like, this code doesn't exist. And they're like, oh, you're correct, this code is from 2013. Here's this code, try this code. And I type in the code and it doesn't work, and I'm like, this one doesn't work either. They're like, oh, that one was from 2017, looks like they updated everything in 20. And it's like, what if I just went with that first answer
Yeah.
and
Yes.
then that was it,
Yeah.
without questioning it? It's crazy. you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And AI has the information. It's on an IRS website. They just have to troll the IRS website.
Yep.
Where the information is. Not
Right.
every other thing that's not the IRS website.
Wikipedia,
Right.
Reddit.
Right.
Right.
You said you got to meet a bunch of comedians.
In my time of doing comedy, like in my tour and being in Florida, yes, absolutely.
And who's like, I was so excited to actually meet them.
That's tough because, and no offense to any of the guys or girls that I've hung out with, or thems that I've hung out with, I have not met a comedian that I've been wanting to meet yet. Because again, I grew up Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Pablo Francisco, Daniel Tosh. Yeah, Pablo Francisco. You're like, people rarely know him.
I can literally recite like 3 of his hour specials verbatim.
Yep, same. he's my number one. I think he's the reason why I do a Kermit voice. I think I did that last time I was here. But yeah, so all those comics. So I didn't really grow up, or like, now you have like the professional comics who are like 20, 30 years in that I kind of knew of, but I didn't really hear. Like Sebastian Maniscalco. I never met him, but if I was to meet him, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, nice to meet you, man. Like,
Yeah.
Big fan of your work and that kind of stuff. But like Pablo, I'd be like, oh my God, dude, let me get on my knees right now.
Admiration.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
oh,
You'd just be reciting Pablo back to Pablo.
But yes, and he'd walk away.
And he'd be like, I don't know what she's doing. I'm going to leave.
He's like, I'm done being sober now.
Right. Gave that a try. The worst 15 minutes of my life.
Not. So what made you take the leap to move to Florida? Do you feel like there's more opportunity there?
Yeah, I was initially for like family stuff, but then now family stuff isn't happening in the sense of like my mom wanted to move to Florida and now she doesn't want to at the moment. So it's like, it's okay, it's fine. But I was just down there, and it was just the opportunities. When I was here in New Hampshire, I was in Keene, and I was kind of in Manchester and Nashville at times.
Yeah.
But that was like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive to Boston,
Yeah.
3 hours, 4 hours to Cape Cod, and I hit a deer on my way home from a show one time, and it was like I was driving at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, this is kind of crazy. Like,
You're
I just
what the hell am I doing, man?
Yeah, I was like, I drove, basically 7 hours to get paid $30 and do 10 minutes, which I still love all that, no problem. But then it was just the inconvenience of hitting a deer on the way home that I was like, I feel like this is a much better way, a much more efficient way of doing this.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Florida, and I was doing I went from doing like 1 to 4 shows or mics a week to like doing 3 a night kind of thing. So it was like, oh, okay, like now I'm back in my New York groove of like I can do all these mics and practice and do shows and make connections. It's a lot easier, quote unquote, as compared to where I was in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
least.
because you're condensing what would take you 6 to 9 months in New Hampshire. You're doing in a month there.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So do you feel like the community, like the comedians that you guys are on with, is it pretty tight? Are they supportive, or do you feel like there's a level of competition that it's, well, I kind of feel like high school girls, like catty, you know.
Yeah, I think any industry is catty. Everybody's gonna have their clique and that kind of stuff for sure. People will, talk ish about other people, and they'll be like, "Oh, this person's not funny," and I don't know why they booked this person. It's always a conversation. But for me, I'll be honest, I'm very competitive in anything and everything I do. That the second I step foot on that stage, my goal is to be the funniest, or I want you to go home saying, "Oh, that."
I want to go
Juan
look
guy.
him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking him up. I
Yeah.
need to see more of his stuff.
We got to see when his next show is, because
Yeah.
that was really good, and I really enjoy that. I really appreciate that, because I'm putting an effort into this, and
Right.
in a sense, I kind of course, everybody, you want to see it back. Of course, I'm not going to be humble and be like, "Oh, I'm just doing this for the love of." It's like, no, I do it for the love of comedy for sure, but I also do it because I want people to be like, "Oh no, that guy's good." Like,
Well,
he's
yeah,
actually,
you want to grow.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you want to grow. But so, do you feel
You
like
need a
it's been-
Netflix special.
I would say I want a Don't Tell special first.
Okay.
You guys familiar with Don't Tell?
I'm not.
So Don't Tell, you guys should look it up. There's a couple in New Hampshire, Manchester, and Dover, and Portsmouth. A couple buddies of mine run it, and basically Don't Tell comedy is you go on don'ttellcomedy.com. You look up comedy near you or in your town. Let's say it says Nashua, and then you buy tickets, and it gives you the location and the time, but you don't know who's going to be on the show, and you don't know where it's going to be until the day of. So it's like speakeasy comedy. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's like. Hey, at 195 North Main Street, there's going to be comedy at 8 p.m. And you're like, okay, like we'll be there, BYOB, whatever it might be. And then you might end up seeing like Gianmarco Cerezi or, Cam Patterson or someone big like that you're like, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, that's
And then,
cool.
Yeah, and then at the end of the show or the next day or whatever, you get like a sheet of all the comics that were there. So if you want to follow them, tip them, Venmo, Cash App, whatever, like that's there. But Don't Tell is like on the up and up. From what I've been noticing.
So how do you get on? How do you get on the list?
They just did like a submission, like audition submission thing for it. I didn't have money, to be honest with you, to submit for it, but I got two
Do they
friends.
charge you to submit to
I think it was like $75 to do it, which is not bad at all. But
It probably weeds out people who think they're funny because their friend tells them they're funny, but they actually don't have
Yes.
stock
Or the
comedy.
people that are committed. Like,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are like
and then when I moved to Florida,
the
I
seriousness.
didn't have like a job to start off, so I was working at Publix, and Publix paid me like $16 an hour. I actually just got my W-2, and it was abysmal what I made in 6 months working at Publix. It was
Yeah.
laughable.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the money to submit. I had two friends that did it, but yeah, they do like auditions. They do once or twice a year where you can like submit your tapes, and then you can get on, and you guys are gonna start seeing it. Your phones are listening. Don't Tell Comedy is gonna
Awesome.
for sure pop up on your Instagram. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that
I'm
would
sure
be
my
awesome.
son knows it. He loves.
Well, the reason why I say that is I am very annoyed when I love to do fun things, and then Instagram will show me after they're over the fun thing that happened, and I'm
Yeah.
like, why would you not tell me those tickets are for sale? You listen to my conversations.
Right.
You know what I want to
You know
do
what's
on the
going on.
weekend. You know what's happening. You're listening. You hear me talk to my
send you
friends.
stuff for Viagra.
Oh, they love sending me that my penis doesn't work on email. They love sending me bald medicine on Instagram. I cannot get an.
I think you're a 35-year-old man.
Yeah. Apparently, I must watch
has
too
ED.
much. Yeah. Who has too? Maybe I watch too many Huberman Lab and Joe Rogan
Yeah.
type podcasts that they're like, this is a dude.
Yeah. It's kind of
And they hear you drive a big 350. You know.
Right. That I drive. They hear me in the diesel.
And you used to plow. Like I mean.
Yeah. AI has not figured me out properly.
Right.
Because I'm not a dude. Nor will I ever be. Stay tuned. We are here with Juan Rosario. We're coming to the top of the hour. We will come back with him. And I want to talk about your clothing line when we come back.
Yeah.
You are listening on WSMN, 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. Also on WSMN.com, as well as YouTube and Spotify. Stay tuned. We'll be back in about 5.
WSMN 1590. WSMN 95.3 FM Nashua. Listen, watch, and stream at WSMN.live.
USA Radio News. I'm John.